I think there was at least some cold beers that had been dumped into it. So, like, it didn't taste like, but it was very suspect. And it was one of those.
Remember Sites' bong your mom and dad?
Yes, where we were
Was it
pouring
like
shit.
that?
We were pouring shit in the bong. It wasn't that gross. Like, well, maybe it was grosser, but it wasn't that noticeable. Like, there was no chunks of stuff floating in it, really. No, like nobody squeezed half a bottle of ketchup into it before I drank.
Nobody, not too many chunks.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another season of the Hype League podcast. We got Dustin and Rico with us today to kick off the season. We're going to talk about their teams. We're going to talk a little bit about the draft. We got some mailbag questions for them, and that'll take us to the show. It's about 9 o'clock. We're watching the Rams-Bills game, so you might hear a little bit of commentary. I don't know if any of us have anybody going in this game. I don't, but I didn't really check their teams. Rico, how you doing?
Doing well, my friend. Happy to be back. Happy the Hype League survived the fucking case, and here we are.
Yeah, that was some bullshit. Dustin, how's it going?
Hey, guys. I'm going to assume when you say mailbag questions that you just made these up yourself. There was no mailbag.
I love mailbag questions.
No,
I
these
can
are
comment on that too.
No. All off season, I've been getting questions from fans. So people want to know. I've been keeping a list, and we're gonna hear some of the answers today. Let's start with Rico because Dustin appears to be cooking or something. How'd you feel about your draft, Rico?
Solid. You know, I know I got a lot of flack at the draft about it. Seemed like I was bidding on a lot of people. I had a lot of different ways I thought about going this year. I didn't spend any real big money on anybody. I spent a lot of $30 guys, that kind of thing. And I don't know. It's kind of a different year for the Rico squad, but I don't hate it. It's just a little different for me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down here to see who your most expensive player was. I'm guessing it was probably Kyler Murray. No, Jalen Waddle. No, I can't be right. No, you're up here. Travis Etienne was 30. Javonte Williams was 33. 44 for Kyler. That was your only one of those.
Yeah, that was the only real big spend, and then a lot of 30, 32s, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, somewhere in here. I'm not seeing Higgins, but I'm sure he was. Oh, there he is. They're 25. Dustin, what about you? How did you feel about your draft? You didn't get to do your draft, obviously.
No, I didn't get to draft it. And me and Jacob had a few arguments during the process. But I think it turned out all right. There's a couple of guys I never thought I wanted on my team, but here we are. So I guess we got to look.
Is there anybody that you guys kind of went into the draft thinking you were definitely going to get and then came out of it without them, or surprised that you didn't get?
Well, so me and Jacob should have talked before this thing because we never discussed players we like, players we don't want. So
that's bad strategy.
I guess I can't really answer that question because, we didn't talk about it. I did not want Deebo Samuel on my team.
Well, right, we all saw that.
Not only did I get him, but I also had to it was either screw Lemmer and spend $50 on this guy, or Jacob was just going to go through our whole entire budget.
Yes, so you bid him up on yourself. That was
yes,
that was entertaining for everybody.
Yeah, it was great. Big fan.
Rams ball.
Yeah.
Rams ball.
Oh, good.
Is that a fumble?
Rico, what about you? Was there anybody you going into the draft you thought like, I'm probably gonna get this guy, and then either were disappointed, someone paid too much, or?
There's nobody on this team that I was like specifically targeting. Like there are a few guys that were like, I like Kyler this year, you know, maybe a little more than most people do. I think some people are down on him and forget that he was the best fantasy player for the first 7 weeks last year. And, we'll see what happens. But honestly, I wasn't expecting to have ETN or anybody, but he was somebody that I liked. But this draft, I really didn't come away with like a specific like Rico guy. Like I think I got good value on a fair amount of guys. But I played more the value card than I did really a target card, I guess, this time.
That's how I always do it, pretty much. But I did kind of think I would probably end up with Russell Wilson and Devontae Adams, and I did.
Wilson was one of mine that I believe me and you were bidding at the end on. He's a guy I was high on too, but I think I'm like, there's other guys that I value close enough that
the Bills intercepted it right back.
Wow.
I do have the Bills defense, though.
Oh, fuck. How did you get so far ahead of me now?
Well, you paused it. Mine froze a little while ago, so I just got back to live recently, so I'm probably not falling behind yet.
Oh, mine was exactly the same as yours, Dustin, but now it's not.
I was surprised, though, that I didn't end up with Ezekiel Elliott or Josh Jacobs. I've actually never had Josh Jacobs, even though I assume every year that I'm higher than everybody else on him, but I've never had him on my team. And this year, nobody was high on either of those guys. And I figured, those guys will definitely end up on my team, and I didn't get him on either team. So that was surprising. Okay.
I've had Josh Jacobs a few times.
I know. Actually, a couple times I tried to get him, within 2 years ago, and Jacob outbid me on him. I remember you guys had him.
And I was also surprised you didn't come away with Zeke. You were talking him up a lot.
I know.
We didn't get him on.
Nope.
We didn't get him in CBS. He didn't got him on either.
Nope. I didn't get either one. So here's an interesting question. So is there anyone on your team, or I'm sure there is, that you don't really know what to expect, but you feel like after the first game you're going to know a lot more? So it's who's the guy that you're I can't wait to see what this team looks like or what his role is going to be this year. I can start, and while you guys think about it if you want, and I'll say on my team, I think it's Cordero Patterson. It wasn't a person that I really wanted or ever had before, but I don't know. It was a late, I got him late and cheap, and he's going to sit in my flex spot for now. But there's nobody else there. It's not like they brought another running back or something to take his spot. So I think there's, there could be some, PPR kind of value from him. Also, maybe James Robinson, see if he's healthy, because that could be a thing. And Naheem Hines, I've literally fallen in the Naheem Hines trap every single season. And every year, every offseason, it's this is the year they're really going to get him involved in the passing game. And it never happens.
Just read one today that said they expect him to have a career high in catches, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and I buy in. I do. I'm the same with you. I buy in every year, too. He's another guy I was high on that I actually have noted on later. Somebody got him for $4. And, yeah.
And it's not even just him. This happens all the time with running backs. When a receiver leaves, and they're there's all these vacated targets. Running back X, receiving downs back is going to get more run more routes this year. And it never happens, whether it's Hines or I remember it was Duke Johnson with the Browns. And I know I'm missing. So someone I was thinking about this earlier. There's another guy. It never happens that the running back, Ty Montgomery was another one with the Packers. It never actually happens. They just keep playing the exact same role they always
Even this year with AJ Dillon, you could put in that category almost.
Oh, Dustin got kicked out. He's back in.
It does look like he's kicked.
I got to let him back in.
But you got to let him back in. But I'll go on that question. The guys on my team that I need, Davis Mills, again, another thing. I have no idea what that offense is actually going to look like or what he's going to, if he grew any and it's going to, I don't know. We'll see. So,
yeah, because you definitely need Davis Mills. Looking at your team now, he is your only other quarterback.
Yeah.
After Murray. I took Damian Pierce, which I guess is another one that falls in that category. And not really buying it. It just happened. I didn't have another two running back, and I needed to get somebody. And it would be good if their offense wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Dustin,
Did you even hear the question before you got booted?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
ready.
Go ahead.
So I guess one, although he's a cheap guy, but Jacob, I don't know, pissed me off this one a little bit too. But David Njoku, preseason he was featured pretty heavily. Let's see how that carries over into the season. But on a larger scale, I guess Debo, just to see if they use him the same way with Lance back there or not. And then Jerry Jeudy, try to see how that offense shakes out, if he's feeding it or, is spreading it around to everybody. I think there's a big question mark there but I think Russell's going to have a great year. It's just who's going to be the other guy.
It could be both. It probably will be both. It's just who's going to be like the better one, I guess, is the question. But they could both be really good. For me with Judy, I'm more worried that he seems to get banged up a lot. Like I think he'll be perfectly fine. He's out there. I don't think I buy Njoku, and I probably would not have tried to go with him as my only tight end.
Well, especially when I got
Dawson
Knox for $2 right after.
Oh, for Lemmer, yeah. Like tight ends went
for
really cheap.
$1 Knox for Lemmer.
So cheap.
Yeah, after
Except
like
for
the
Travis
first.
Kelce, right, Chuck?
Yeah, I was actually
every tight end drafted after that. He's like,
oh, he was disgusted with himself.
"Oh, we bet that on Kelce."
He was. I was actually looking. We're gonna get to that in a little bit, but I was looking at what picks I liked, and even like Waller only went for 15 to Swain.
Yeah,
who had his best draft ever by not showing up.
Tony Papers, Tony Whispers.
That's how Jacob made the fantasy baseball playoffs.
Why? How?
Drafted this year.
Oh, that's right. He auto drafted. You're kind of breaking up over there, Dustin.
Should I move closer?
Yeah.
You think?
No, I don't know if it's
better.
Yeah, it is for now. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's go over to. I sent you guys kind of a list of the draft results ranked in order from who paid the most for what. Is there anybody that jumped out at you guys as guys you thought were really good values, or just like fair values, or above average? I guess not fair, but so you thought was a good buy. Like just what was a good buy and a good spot? Either you can
Go
jump
ahead,
in.
D-Rock.
Dustin
Are you
is.
trying the basement, thinking it might be better? I'll go for a minute here.
All right.
I thought Kamara at 47. I felt like that could be a big pick. Ricky got that one. That was one. A lot of my notes on this are the cheaper end of guys.
Yeah.
But I like Lamar to Brandon at only 47. I thought that could be a real value. I thought that was another guy I was kind of thinking I end up with. Lamar actually is one of those guys I thought I would end up with. And I just didn't get there. I don't know if I had already spent too much money elsewhere or what exactly, how it played out, but it just didn't go. So I thought those were a couple of the high-end ones. Taylor for 63, obviously that's a lot of money, but that's in line. I think we were talking at the draft that was pretty much in line with what the best running back had gone for in years past.
It is.
And, I think he is that. So pretty interesting. McCaffrey for only 56, I thought was good value a little bit in comparison, because he could very well be number one, but he could very well play 2 fucking games again. So who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Eckler went to Lemmer. Dustin spending Lemmer's money on that. Obviously could be big. I don't know. Well, we shall see.
So I'm looking at some ones I like, and I like Michael Thomas at 20 to Swain. I like David Montgomery at 19 to Swain. I like Darren Waller and Hollywood Brown at 15 to Swain. It's kind of annoying how much I like a lot of his players. Scrolling down now. Kareem Hunt at 11. I remember I was in on that. I don't remember why I bowed out so early. Cordero Patterson for only 9 to me. I knew it was cheap, but I feel like that's really cheap.
Yeah.
Keep going down here. Yeah, I mean, they're way too cheap, guys. I mean, Gabriel Davis to Rob, he already caught a touchdown tonight, was only $4. I mean, that was a lot of situation of where he got nominated. But I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like he was like a 5th-round pick in a lot of leagues, so that's really, really cheap. Dustin, anybody stuck out to you?
Am I back now?
Yes, I can hear you better now.
Okay. I'll just be quick. I had Rashad Penny, and I actually like Jameis Winston that Jacob got for $10 as our second quarterback. I mean, it's going to take a lot for him to be good, but I mean, it's not really. Actually, I think I heard today that he started the season last year with 14 touchdowns and 3 picks, and then got hurt.
I do think he had a 5-touchdown, no interception game in there. Though, skew those numbers, but
Those are week winners, though. That's a week winner.
you know, I think in that 5 touchdowns, he may have only thrown for like 180 yards or something. Not really something you do again, but I drafted Rick's work team for him, and I kept waiting on quarterback, and every time like I would go to take a quarterback, I'd be like, there's these 3 guys that are all kind of similar. I'm going to wait, and then they would all go, and then I would go down to another tier, and I would wait. Next thing you know, I was getting Jameis Winston as a starter in a 1-quarterback league, which
Nice.
is not ideal. What's probably going to happen is I'm going to have to keep him, use him in his good matchups, and then pick up guys in better matchups. I don't know. All right.
I had a couple. Here's a couple notes from the draft. Rico's little things I threw in there.
Awesome.
I had like little comparisons that I wanted to look at later on to see who actually ended up better. ETN and Connor. I had ETN, and Minotti ended up with Connor, and they were the same price, and I wanted to see like over the course of the year how those two end up. And then you got Evans for 33, and then Brandon got Keenan Allen for 32. And I thought that was a good one to like keep an eye on throughout the year. I thought those were kind of interesting. I wonder which end of that's going to be different, you know?
Yeah, that is interesting. That is actually kind of a fun thing to do. I think you can do it with AJ Brown and Michael Pittman, both at 29 also.
Yeah, there's a good one.
Anybody stand out to you guys as like bad picks? I actually haven't really seen one yet that I thought was like, this is too expensive. I mean,
So the only thing I had down, and it wasn't that I thought it was a bad pick, was Travis Etienne, just because you got James Robinson for $3.
yeah. I see
So that's the only hiccup I had with it. Besides, I mean, but yeah, like I went through it. I didn't see a ton that I thought were completely overpriced, except for maybe Deebo Samuel. That's partly my
You
fault.
hate it.
I can't. Well, obviously, Chuck. I didn't actually think it was that bad when Chuck paid so much for Kelsey.
No,
He would probably tell you differently now.
I
when
said
he did it wasn't terrible,
Right.
and then it just kept.
just
It
tight
just
ends
kept
were
going
cheap
down.
as shit. Like several of my notes were about how low tight ends were. Like one of my favorite picks of mine was Dalton Schultz at $8. I had your Dawson Knox at $2. Like, come on, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
And Jacob spending $3 on Njoku.
I
Yeah.
had the worst buy of the draft was Seitz' girlfriend claiming Seitz to dispel any confusion.
I was actually I thought about calling this like are you going to claim that podcast? Like changing the name.
Yeah.
Are you going to claim that? Make it like a waiver wire show. You going to claim that?
Should have never picked Tony Whispers. That's what I have noted here.
Oh, man.
Other
How
quick
about-
Rico notes. I
Yeah,
had a
more
Rico
Rico
bargain bin buys.
You know, hold on. I need to. Well, I'll do it at the end of the episode. I'm gonna write down some of like the head-to-head matchups. I'm like gonna make a list or put them into a spreadsheet and just to
I
keep
like
track
that.
of during the year.
I
I
like
feel
that.
like maybe that should just be a topic for the next podcast. We all write them down
Yeah,
for
like
next week.
we like make
Find
that,
our
like,
best matchups.
we make maybe like little side bets against each other. Or like,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be fun.
Dig it.
All right, Rico, let's hear.
Olave to Chuck. I want to give Chuck some credit. Olave
Chuck?
for 7. I thought that was good. D-Rock Jiggy Team Chili with Khalil Herbert I thought that was good for $6. I also thought my Davis Mills was good for $6. And then I had, I had Goff to Team Chili for $5, Tannehill to Brandon for $5, Ertz to Rob T for $5. I thought that was pretty good. Then I had my $4 bargain bin, Kadarius Toney. That was Lemmer. Drake London, 8th overall out of USC. Let's see what he does for $4.
Dustin,
could be big.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Could be big down at ATL. Elijah Moore was only $4 too to Kishanda.
That's a huge one, I think. And
Woods. Kishanda, Elijah Moore, $4.
I like Woods at $4.
He was a 3rd round pick in a lot of places I've seen,
I know that seems excessive, but
yeah. I mean, that might be a little embellished, but you get the idea. $4 is cheap.
He's
not enough that would have
5 or
changed
6.
the price. But Jacob asked me if Robert Woods was gone, and I had him crossed off on my list, and I told him, yeah. I think we were out of money by the time it came back around to that.
I've always been a big Robert Woods fan, and I wanted him, but I think at the time it was so the difference between this league and our other league that is a very similar is that there's a lot more like $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 players. With the other league, it goes from like 60, 50, 40, 30, 1. Dustin left us again.
All right, I got one more.
Oh.
I got a Devontae Parker take. This is a guy I drafted for $2. And I feel like if Bill Belichick has seen a guy play against him 2 times a year for 5 years and then decided he wants him on his team, that he's got a plan for this guy. He's a guy I'm keeping in my lineup even week 1 because I believe in this Rico theory right here.
Like you're starting in week 1.
I'm going to play him week 1. I believe it's happening.
Oh, I haven't. I'm playing against you.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. We are head-to-head. I had that noted.
Yeah, I do see him in your lineup.
I'm a slight dog to you in the projections by like two points.
I actually kind of like Kendrick Bourne of the Patriots receivers. If I was going to take like a shot on a nothing $1, $2 guy at the end, he's probably nothing, but I would have.
Said, if Bill sees this guy that much and then he wanted him on his team, he's got a plan for him.
It could be. He's actually a free agent in our CBS league. But we were only allowed to carry 5 receivers, so we would have to cut Drake London to pick him up, and I don't think we can do that. Especially because there's keeper
I'm pretty sure
too.
right after Rico took Devontae Parker, I took Jacoby Myers for Lemmer. And now you like Kendrick Bourne. All of a sudden, we're just all in on this Patriots wide receiver.
Well, I think Jacoby Myers is the best bet to be like a decent player, like to get 6 for 60s most of the time. With the other guys, are either going to work out or they're not. I think
safest bet.
Yeah, like if I had to bet who was going to have the best season of the Patriots receivers, it would be Jacoby Myers for sure.
Put that on the Side Bet podcast.
Yes.
Love it.
All right. So we have one more question about the draft for you guys, and then maybe we'll have a little fun and see if we can round this, get our stride going.
Hit that mailbag.
Hit the mailbag. All right. So
mailbag.
I wanted to know who
hit the mailbag.
Who is your fantasy MVP this year? And you can define it any way you want, I guess. For me, I think of it as like the guy who probably went for something like a 5th or 6th round value that jumps up like into the 1st round. But it could be Jonathan Taylor if you think in that one year McCaffrey was the most expensive player and then he was also the MVP because he dominated everybody, no matter what you paid for him. So who do you guys like for fantasy MVP? I can start out. I will say, if I didn't have him on my team, I would say Trey Lance. But since I do, I'm going to have to pick somebody else because do you guys have anything come to mind while I scroll through? Because I didn't really prepare you guys for this. I got a couple like that.
I think the Lamar could be a big one for Brandon. I did mention that earlier. I thought that was a good buy, and I thought your Kamara. I think he could be one of those guys that he could be the best player. He could be the best player in fantasy. If everything goes right, it really happen still. So for 47 compared to 63, 61, 59, that's quite a value, I would say.
Like so too. Dustin and I got Kamara in both our leagues, so we're kind of and Wilson. We got a lot going on Kamara and Wilson. I think Michael Thomas I could see him vaulting back into being maybe not the number 1 receiver, but the number 8 receiver or something. I could definitely see that happening. And Cortland Sutton, I mean, it wasn't cheap. He probably fell right in line with where he should go. But there's always a chance that Cortland Sutton becomes one of the top 2 or 3 receivers.
For sure.
And that could be a league winner. I don't know if that's what I'm betting on, but I could definitely see that.
Oh, fools.
Did you just see it?
You just saw that, yes. Well, no one else knows what we're talking about because this is only an audio.
That's good.
I can see
fools.
maybe not.
Do you know what all fools means, Ricky?
I do. All right, Dustin, do you got a fantasy MVP guy here while I scroll around and see if there's anybody else I could consider?
Well, Trey Lance was actually the first one that came to mind for me. I had taken him in another league, and you told me I was pretty dependent on him because he's the only quarterback I took. But I think he's got tons of upside, and I know that they brought back Garoppolo. I don't know that it has anything to do with Lance's leash.
I don't think.
But go ahead.
No, I don't think. I think I agree with you.
Yeah. I don't. It was a weird move, but yeah, I think Lance is going to be. I think he's going to have a great year, and I think. But so the other guy I'm going to say though, I know you disagree with, is I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a monster year. Monster.
You're right. I don't agree.
I know you
would.
would.
I agree. He was a guy I was kind of targeting too, and ended up with the Kyler.
If I had him, I would be perfectly fine having him as my quarterback. I just don't think he's actually really good at football. He's good at fantasy football, but I want him to be good.
Be.
Oh, I think he's going to be a winning quarterback. I do. I think he's going to be that weird guy who goes 10-7 into the NFL and is irrelevant.
Yeah, I hope so because I thought he got a raw deal at Alabama, and I was rooting for him to be good. I just don't think he is good. One other guy I did notice, I was talking about Travis Etienne could be a league winner. He could be.
He could be. You're absolutely right.
He could, I don't know that I would bet on it either, but I was really high on him last year, and I wanted him, so I could see, him ending up being a top guy, especially if James Robinson doesn't have. I mean, we think we know all these things. We know actually nothing right now. So
none of it.
Nothing. It's literally all guesses. Except for
it's all polls.
All right. So, let's see. I got the mailbag open here, and I'm trying to think where we should start. Who's this season's fantasy MVP was on the list. Let's start with. Hey guys, big fan, longtime listener. If you had to write a book tomorrow, what would it be about? And it would be fiction or nonfiction?
I already have a set of memoirs kind of prepared to come out at some point.
Biographical.
The first one is called Farts and Oranges. That's the first one. And then the second edition is Titties and Root Beer Floats.
Wow.
So,
and these are biographical.
Actually,
these are biographies.
It's a biography.
Oh
yeah, another interception from the Rams.
Oh.
Dustin, what would you write about?
it would be a to-do man, it would be a manual on how to do things, and it would be just me doing all polls.
A short book.
Short book.
No, it would probably be like a book of poems.
Oh,
A nice book of poems. I think that's what I would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
interesting.
Beautiful.
Interesting.
Beautiful.
All right, let's flip back to fantasy football for a second. Let's see, we're going here. Oh, here's a good one. Hey guys, which current player in the NFL do you think will be the highest drafted player 5 years from now? So a guy who was drafted in this year's draft, of all those players, who will be drafted the highest in 5 years? My first thought, I have not looked at this that closely yet. My first thought was Justin Jefferson
Gotcha. I think it could be
or
like a
Jamar
Herbert.
Chase.
Maybe like a Herbert could be like just the
Herbert
Aaron
came to
Rodgers
mind.
8 years in, now just crushing it, like cruising to 5,200 yards and 45 touchdowns in an offense like that.
That could be. What I was thinking of it, I was forgetting that. Like we talk about our league because it's super flex. It could be Herbert, or it could be Allen. Even I feel like he's going to stop running at some
situation.
I feel like Allen's going to stop running at some point. Like he's not like he's like a Cam Newton guy, not like a short fast guy. Like he's not Lamar Jackson. He's Dustin, you got a thought? I'm kind of scrolling through to see if there's somebody else that jumps up. Tom Brady, maybe?
Yeah, Herbert came to mind. I mean, who was the other one? I was looking when I was going through here.
You could be looking at top receivers or like Olave.
Maybe Travis Etienne. Maybe he's coming in on his age 27 season and he's a star running back. That seems a little late. I feel like in 5 years we could miss that could be like the whole career of Etienne and Javonte Williams and DeAndre
Or it could
Swift.
be like Pitts is the Kelsey now.
No, maybe.
And he's just like sweet, like he's the number one tight end, no doubt.
That could be the case.
Did you guys say Javonte Williams?
Well, I just mentioned him he can play his entire career and be really good, but in 5 years not be a top pick anymore.
I think J.K. Dobbins and maybe C.D. Lamb.
Ooh, J.K.
I'm looking at maybe Drake London, if that were to go
maybe Drake
well.
London.
Yeah.
Will Tom Brady still be in the league?
He will not.
Giselle has anything to say about it.
I don't think he will. I mean, no, I don't think he will. Okay.
I heard they're on the outs.
Probably because he keeps getting all those facelifts.
She was asking for my phone number.
Like on Instagram?
Yeah, I think she DM'd me or something. I'll have to look. Maybe it wasn't her. I don't know if that was a certified account.
Oh, it may not have been.
No check mark?
No blue
I don't
check.
want Tom coming after me. I heard him making fun of the dad who found his old draft board.
All right, how about this? If you could have one song play every time you walked into a room for the rest of your life, which song would it be?
Easy.
Yeah, you got one?
Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Every time you walk in the room?
I want an 8-minute entrance.
The whole song. You walk into the room, and every time it plays 8 minutes of Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
You're damn right.
I mean, I appreciate that. Every time I go to a bar, I play that 17-minute live version of what's that OAR song? Crazy Game of Poker.
The 18-minute version
every
from
time
some festival in Columbus.
Every time I go into a bar, I play that.
I love it.
I appreciate that. An 8-minute intro song. I like it.
And just in case a game of darts breaks out in the first 8 minutes, I'm there. I'm sure to run away with that.
For sure.
Right now, I'm definitely on the Edwin Diaz intro music. I would rock that hard. I don't know the name of it, but it's fucking sick when he's coming out. It's awesome. I'm definitely into that, but I don't know what I would actually think.
If I was gonna copy a baseball player, I would go with the SpongeBob SquarePants song. Oscar Gonzalez.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
I think
Yeah,
maybe,
mine would probably be like Deftones or something. I don't know.
I would like maybe like to play like the theme song to Perfect Strangers. I think that would be kind of cool.
You were into Cousin Bounty pretty hard.
Oh, I was watching Perfect Strangers a couple years ago. It's hilarious.
It holds up.
It does. I mean, it's racist,
It
but
holds up.
it's funny. I mean, it would not be on TV today. Like, people would be like, you gotta be out of your mind, but it's hilarious.
What's his name? Bounty Bartakamos?
Yep. Yeah, we thought about naming Belle Barky. Barky Barkakamus.
Barky?
Barky.
That's the dog's name?
No, that was gonna. Oh, nothing. Never mind.
That was going to be Belle's name?
It was at least discussed.
That's awesome.
Barky Barkakamus.
That's pretty good. I tried to get you to name Zelda Excalibur.
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 I like that.
It was actually Uncle Joe, I think, his dad was the one who thought of that. But I've tried to get him to go with that instead of Zelda, which I love Zelda too. That was my other pick. But Excalibur was definitely in the running for a long time.
There's some you ever watch. Actually, you watch Superstore. And so, like the one episode, she has all of her birds and names are written on the wall, and I paused it and we went through. There's some pretty funny ones.
That's pretty good, dude. You find that out. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So here's one. If you could own an exotic animal as a pet, what pet would it be? I had when I used to live at the orphanage with Handa. Well, Handa didn't live there, but I lived at the orphanage. We had that big hole in the ground in the backyard that I always thought would have made an awesome like alligator pit. Like if there was anybody who was ever going to have a yard that would like a spot that's like, oh, this is an alligator enclosure. I thought that could have been it. So I think that would have been really cool to have an alligator living in the pool, but the pool didn't really have any water in it. It was empty, so it couldn't get out. And just like throw chickens and stuff to it, and it would have. So I think that'd be my answer.
Like the feeding you used to have with trail fads and stuff?
Yes, like that, except an alligator.
Except an alligator.
Yes.
That would be pretty crazy and cool, no doubt. I'd probably go like a wolf. I'd try to have, or like a small bear that I could just like wrestle around with.
Like a cub or like a sloth bear or some kind of.
Yeah, something like in that family, like not like something that could really maul you if it wanted to.
Yeah,
like slightly below that level, like.
Right, like polar bear would be the answer if you wouldn't have to worry about it eating you.
It
right?
killing you at any time.
Yeah, like you see a polar bear at the zoo and you think like, well, that should crawl next to me on the couch.
That would be awesome to cuddle with that thing. But yeah.
I don't know. There was a time though, like, but especially when I was living at the orphanage, I could have fallen into this alligator trap or this alligator, enclosure. It could have been bad.
You would have fallen into a lot of things in that era.
Yeah. So, how about you? What kind of partner are you getting for Diesel over there?
I'm a feline fan, so I think I would like to raise like a bobcat from birth. I think we'd be good friends.
Like you're gonna birth it, or?
I mean, that would be the best option to make the bond work.
The bond, yes, it's important.
But if I had to take it from two other bobcats, that would be okay as well. Yeah, and raise it as my own. I think I would get along with it very well.
Some real free-spirited bobcats that didn't want to be like tied down. It'd be healthy for everybody. Right. It'd be healthy for everybody.
People do have them. That seems like one I would not want, but people do it, so it can't be that bad. All right, here's
Matrix has chickens now.
Who does?
Matrix has chickens now. He lives right next door to Aunt Jenny, and Aunt Jenny and him both have chickens.
Like, do they eat the eggs, or are they just like pets, or?
eggs and farm fresh eggs and stuff.
Cage-free, farm fresh.
Cage for I mean I think there's some kind of enclosure, but it's not really like a cage.
Yeah, I think. Well, actually, I think like with cage-free chickens, they just stick them all like in one giant pen and cram them all together and call it cage-free. But they're really still like smashed on top of each other. I don't think it's really any different. They're not like in a tiny cage.
I think these chickens got it better than any chickens.
I am sure those chickens have it better than the ones at the egg. Who even makes eggs? What's an egg company? Eggland's Best. Is that an egg?
Eggland's Best, or I don't know what's the one Giant Eagle is now. I don't even know. Organic Valley. There's like Organic Valley.
I think Giant Eagles just have chickens back there.
All right, so which one is?
Here's a mailbag I got actually.
All right.
Here's a mailbag I got actually. That's
Can't believe people are sending you
DJ. What would your DJ name be?
Oh. What would my DJ name be? I'm good at, I've never had a nickname.
You don't have an answer for that one on hand?
Oh, I'm ready.
Go ahead, bring it.
Oh, that'd be DJ the Stone Disc.
DJ the Stone Disc. Yes.
Where did you just make that up?
The Stone Disc to ever do it.
To ever do it.
The
I don't know.
Disc to ever do it.
Did you just make that up? Did you have that one?
No, we were playing in a golf outing recently. And the one hole I get up over my drive and I hit it and it was terrible. And I looked back and I said, "This is the Stone Disc." And even before I could say I've been today, they were just all over it. The Stone Disc.
Like the coldest. The Stone Disc. I would be I'm DJ Grilled Beats. And I hit you with like a sizzle. DJ Grilled Beats. Hit him with that sizzle at the end. DJ Grilled Beats. That's me. Or Rico Too Shiesty.
I have no idea.
Nothing?
Nothing. I don't.
DJ Step on Ice?
That's where I thought DJ Step on Ice.
DJ Step on Ice.
That's only my screen name because I've had it for like 20 years.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I've had that screen name since I was on AOL in like 1998.
Rico Man 12.
DJ Chico's Bail Bonds.
That is also that's almost as branded as Step on Ice at this point. Chico's Bail Bonds. I've been using that forever.
For sure.
All right. I got a fantasy football question. I got two. I'm gonna pick one. Let's do 2 more questions. One football one more other one, and we'll wrap it up. That sound good?
Yep.
All right. Tell me about a player, one of each. A player that when they were coming into the league, you were totally right about, and a player that you were totally wrong about. So you were like, I think this guy sucks, and then he sucked. And you're like, yep, told you. Or a player you're like, yeah, he sucks, and he ended up being like a star, and you're like, well, I'm an idiot. For me, my first one is obviously the easiest one ever is Johnny Manziel. Worst player ever, worst pick ever. It seemed so obvious sitting there that day that it was there was no way in the world it could possibly go well. And then it actually somehow went even worse than I thought it would go.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Dustin, if you got anything, take it.
So that way, I mean, it's been a long time, but I guess I would say Maurice Claret.
Oh, yeah. I also
think
would have
I
been.
lost $50 to Malinsky with some ridiculous thing drunken at mom's table one night. But yeah, thought he was going to have a big career. did not do that.
I would have been wrong on that one too.
Here's a Cleveland relevant one. I'll go with Rosen. When they were debating if he was the best quarterback, I'm like, there's no way he's the best quarterback in this draft. Like, he's not even close. He's not even good. He's fucking terrible. There's no way he amounts to anything. And he can't make the Browns' third string. So that tells you everything.
He is terrible. Yes. Actually,
that was what I was definitely right on.
Yes. I actually kind of like, I don't know if I wouldn't say I loved him, but I kind of liked Josh Rosen when coming in. He was not good. But I also thought, like, he was already hurt, and then he got hurt again right away. Like,
yeah.
Once he got that first injury, I was like, okay, this guy's never going to play. For one, I was wrong about. The first one that came to mind was Cam Newton. Like, I thought I saw nothing there, and then he ended up being really good. But I've talked about one a lot. So going back more to, like, sticking with, like, the Browns, Colt McCoy. I mean, I don't know if it was only, like, my fandom overriding rational thought back then, but I loved Colt McCoy. I thought Colt McCoy was going to be at least very good, if not, like, great.
When he said, we're going to win a lot of football games, you were sold as fuck. You were so in.
Yes.
You were like, Colt McCoy forever.
Ketchup popsicles.
America, Browns.
Yes.
Super Bowl
Absolutely.
Browns.
Absolutely. I bought it 1,000,000%, and I was wrong. No, he was just in the league still. Like, he had like a 10-year career.
Yes, he did.
All right, how about one you guys were wrong on?
Well, I guess I went backwards because I was wrong on Maurice Claret. I must not have been listening.
I'm
going to go the other way and just say one that I was right on. I guess you said Josh Rosen, you were wrong on. Somebody said that?
No, I was right.
Rico was right on.
Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was terrible from the very beginning.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And I said he was terrible, and he was terrible. And now he's Baker Mayfield's backup.
For now. No, that should be the last question is, how bad is Baker going to light up the Browns on Sunday?
Oh, I bet
Browns
there's two dipshits on this podcast that'll be betting the Browns.
I'll be betting the Browns, and that's for sure.
All right.
No, I don't know what to expect, but I'm not going to bet against the Browns. That's for damn sure.
No, but you don't have to bet on them at all.
But you do, though. But you do.
You don't. I'm pretty sure you don't. I'm pretty sure you don't.
But you do, though. Because one year you're going to catch lightning in a bottle, and it's going to be just that much sweeter.
All right. Oh, Rico, did you have a wrong about guy?
No, I can't really think of one, honestly.
You're so right every time.
Oh, every time.
No, I just can't think of one. I might be just stoned just right now.
Wait a minute. We had a conversation where you said you were excited for podcasts and you weren't going to get to stonedness this year.
No, I was going to try to be
a
little more PC on the airwaves, but whatever.
All right, guys, last question. What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
At once, a gallon of ranch dressing.
Oh, yeah, all right. Nobody else.
Or a 30-pack of White Castles. That was the worst thing I've ever eaten.
That was worse? Like,
that was the worst. That was the worst.
The White Castle was worse?
Yeah, dude. Not to get graphic, but the aftermath of that smelled like some unknown fossil fuel. Like, it was unbelievable. It was not good. It was disgusting, and I had bubble guts for like a week.
Dustin, you need anything weird?
I mean, I guess I've had alligator, but that's not. I mean, it's not that weird.
Your brother's trying to raise them, and you're talking about eating them.
Oh.
What the fuck?
I would eat Ricky's alligator.
You guys are bad combo.
But I mean, like, we don't eat weird stuff. Oh no, I guess the weirdest thing. weirdest thing I've ever eaten, I guess, was the chicken heart.
Where was that?
What the hell was the meat carving stay place downtown?
Oh, you
Was
got
that
it
for
at
a guy's
Braza?
dinner?
At Braza?
Jay ordered it.
Yeah, I didn't
He
know that
said
was
he had to
chicken.
try every meat on there, and it was chicken heart.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and it was terrible. I mean, I don't know why anyone ever think to eat a
Did
chicken
I eat
heart.
it?
It was gross. I don't know.
I've got like some weird jerkies before, like I think I've had gator jerky and like some shit like that maybe.
I didn't know that was what that was. That was chicken heart. I remember it was something weird, but I didn't remember what it was. I've never really eaten anything weird, but one time I drank like a bucket that had drinks and stuff in it and a bunch of things floating, and I'm not totally sure how long it was sitting there, but I got like $20 for it at a party in college.
Oh, that's rough.
It was disgusting. And
That's rough.
I think there was at least some cold beers that had been dumped into it, so like it didn't taste like, but it was very suspect. And it was
Remember Cites' bong at mom and dad's?
Yes, where we were
Was it
pouring
like
shit.
that?
We were pouring shit in the bong. It wasn't that gross. Like, well, maybe it was grosser, but it wasn't that noticeable. Like, there was no chunks of stuff floating in it, really. No, like nobody squeezed half a bottle of ketchup into it before I drank.
Nobody, not too many chunks.
It wasn't a ton of chunks. It was
Not
some
a ton of
chunks.
chunks.
All right, guys. I think we should wrap this up. We only got a couple minutes left. Anyway, thanks for coming on. Halftime is just coming off, so we can watch the second half. And
Hit me up at DJ Grilled Beats. Your boy Rico Too Shiesty.
I will try to think of a DJ name for myself. Thanks for coming on, guys. I'm going to put this together and get it posted. Later.
All right. Good time. Later, fellas.
Later, boys. Good shit, Ricky.